up your driveway there?
I would say so, yeah. By and large, we would be 90% correct, I'd say.
In judging them merely from their look?
Yeah. What we like to do is use it as our watchtower. If they come in and start going through every single car, and we say, well, it's probably a waste of time, that guy. Whereas another person comes in, looks at, say, the Vauxhall Astra, 5-door hatchback, looks at the Escort, 5-door hatchback, possibly Sierra 5-door hatchback, then we know he's looking for a 5-door hatchback.
I think that's...
That is something, you know, a bit of a comedy and something cheap to run, I suppose.
How finicky are people when they're wanting to buy a car? How much about the car do they want to try out, or do they want to experiment with?
Well, John's a particularly good salesman at selling a car without driving. Yeah, how he does it, I don't know, but...
I'd start very few cars.
You will refuse to start very few?
No, I won't refuse to, but I just don't see that there's any point. Because I'll explain to them that it would be rather silly of me to buy a car that wasn't in very, very good condition in the first instance.
And they believe you?
Well, don't you?
Well, I don't. Well, yes, actually, to be honest.
I have a particular problem with Porsches. They are a tremendously good and interesting car, and yet I can't bring myself to buy one, simply because I don't wish to associate myself with the kind of people who do. I don't wish these people any ill. I hope they all continue to have happy and successful lives. But I just don't feel I have much in common with them. I therefore can't bring myself to buy the same kind of car. I have similar problems with other vehicles because of the kind of person I feel myself becoming when I climb in. The car must fit, because as soon as you buy a car, you are immediately identified with all the other people who have bought that kind of car. Although Aston Martin have a similarly strong image to Porsche, for some reason I feel happy with it, and therefore with the car.
A lot of people looking at cars like Aston Martins would see them as no more than sort of mere sort of kind of phallic extensions. And I think there's a lot of slightly charlatan amateur psychology which treats the long bonnet as the sort of the kind of penis, and therefore the men who drive them are perhaps trying to sort of prove something about their own virility and so on. I think we take the view that that is rather too simple-minded.
Well, absolutely.
Especially in your case.
Wrong.
But it also seems to have the sort of curvaceous suppleness, sensuousness, which you associate with female beauty. So the fact that it has both male and female characteristics is perhaps part of the sort of rather enigmatic attraction that it has. And then along with it, of course, you've actually got the components of the internal combustion engine, about which the American poet E. Cummings wrote one of the most erotic poems I've ever read, simply talking about reciprocating pistons and the hydraulics and the fluid and clutches and disc brakes and things like that. It's very easy to get sort of carried away with these kinds of things. So here you are in the sort of kind of rather hermaphroditic kind of object.
For myself, I'm well aware of this joy that can be derived from mechanical devices. Rolls-Royce make the most obvious status symbol, and they know more about driving ambiance than most people. They are very aware of how important it is to make the things that you touch feel good. Merely the way that a knob to control an air vent moves, the coolness of the chrome on your fingertips, and the smooth, lubricated nature of its movement. Even in more popular cars, these tactile qualities and the cozy feel of the cabin are a terribly important part of the driving experience.
Yes, this is a very important aspect of cars, the sense of enclosure. It's almost really womb-like. It really takes us back, I suppose, to that interuterine experience of security and warmth and coziness. And that comes from this experience of being on one's own. But the other aspect of it, which is equally interesting, is that because people feel inviolate and secure, they tend to handle their cars in ways which are totally out of proportion to their driving skills.
This is Roderick, a minicab driver in central London. He drives in a most extraordinary fashion, which can only reflect this invincibility that some people feel at the wheel of a car.
I just call my driving charismatic. Basically, it's...
This car, Roderick, looks as though it's been through the wars a bit.
Well, I mean, that's driving in London. I mean, you know, there's some madmen on the road, I tell you. It's,
So how many accident repairs are pending on this car at the moment?
about 9 at the moment. Most of them aren't my fault. Actually, let's go in this lane, then carve them up and turn left. Yeah, no, don't worry. Other drivers always get out of the way.
Yes, they get out of the way.
know.
Yeah. Do you seem to wave a lot? Do you wave a lot to me?
Oh, yeah. I always wave. I mean, whenever I carve anyone up, I always think, are they going to indicate? Are they going to beg? Visual eye contact. No, they're not. Come on, let's go round them.
Do you encourage visual eye contact?
Oh, no. I never look at the other person. I always look at the car. Judge distances, but not judge people.
Tell me, Roderick, you don't seem a very typical taxi driver in terms of your look and your sound.
Oh, well, I used to work at Lloyd's. I have the distinction of being a suspended member of Lloyd's. Basically, I had my own firm of brokers, and I got ripped off by the people that were working for me.
Do you have contretemps with the police?
Oh, regularly.
What do you think is the key to at least staying out of court?
Grovel like mad. I love groveling.
Right.
I mean,
do you think you're good at it?
Oh, yes. It reflects in my sex life.
Right.
So, I love dominant women, too.
All right. I see. It all becomes painfully clear.
I love going round roundabouts.
Yes,
because you never know what...
Because you can...
Well, yeah, I mean, you never know what you're going to sort of come up against next. It's a bit like accidents. You never know when the next one's going to happen.
No, I can imagine.
So you don't mind if I go around this one a few times?
No, not
Should we try and make him run? How do you like that?
Do you think the...
Hang on, he was reversing round a roundabout and he
that is
yelled at me.
Yes, he was very...
I mean, you know, that's London. That is London for you. I mean, you know...
Do you stop after accidents?
No, never.
You never stop, right?
Well, very rarely anyway. What's the point? I mean, it's only paperwork, and I don't like paperwork. Ever since I was an insurance broker.
Right. Do you think that driving fills an essential hole in your life that could not be filled by anything else or by any other means?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's like being at the screen of a video machine, you know, playing Star Wars, zapping them all.
No, I can see that.
Yeah.
Although few of us drive like Roderick, most of us share his insensitivity to the dangers of the road. If 30 people are killed in a train crash, it is deemed a national disaster. And yet that represents just 2 days of road accident deaths.
And that's at 36 miles an hour.
This is a Minister of Transport. He's on a visit to the Transport and Road Research Laboratory, where they have made a speciality of driving cars into concrete blocks in order to see what happens. What happens, apparently, is that the car comes off worse than the block. The analysis of this discovery kept them all in jobs here for many years, until someone discovered that cars rarely collide head-on with concrete blocks. So in today's experiment, the car has hit a deformable structure, more representative of another vehicle, and it hasn't hit it head-on.
This looks like a slightly more oblique approach, a slightly more tangential impact, this one, is that right?
That's right. As you can see on the car, only part of the car has really been involved in the impact. And this side of the car, there's very little damage done to it. Certainly not very much energy has been absorbed. This is much more typical of what happens in an accident, where only one side of the front of the car is involved, and all the energy has to be absorbed by the structure here. This brings all the fascia, this very stiff area around the windscreen, towards the occupant. And as he moves forward in his seatbelt, then he's much more likely to hit this and receive serious injuries or fatal injuries. I think the car manufacturers have had the dilemma that they don't want to indicate when somebody comes to buy a new car that this might be the vehicle that they have an accident in.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
So I think that they are anxious to try and play down safety in that way. But if the public question safety when they go to buy a car, then car manufacturers will respond and will give increased safety. It's within